All right. Okay. Welcome to, I think this is part 7. Okay. Gang stalking. Gang stalking is mentioned in several scientific articles which were published in scientific journals. In 2008, gang stalking was discussed during a congress for criminologists in Barcelona. Okay. And in this video, we will try to cover all 10 points. We'll just see where we are with time. Okay, so scientific definition. Gang stalking is stalking by several people who know each other and who have the same intent. This is written by Belgian criminologist Jean-Nicolas Dersmont. This definition fits criminologists. It requires that you prove the harassment. Okay, well, there's problems with the definition. There's a linguistic problem. There are more than 100 alternative names for the word gang stalking. The words gang stalking, mobbing, and bullying have a different meaning in different places and different times. Gang stalking is originally an alternative name for the children's game Indians. Mobbing is originally the behavior of a group of small animals which attack a larger animal. Mobbing can happen everywhere, but usually it's used to describe harassment at the workplace. In some countries where they speak English, they use the word bullying to describe mobbing. In some countries where they speak German, there's a tendency to use the word mobbing to describe gang stalking. Okay? And number 2, the scientific definitions of gang stalking and mobbing are inconsistent, vague, and confusing. They don't make a clear distinction between gang stalking and mobbing. They don't say clearly whether mobbing can happen everywhere or only at the workplace. Number 3, different sciences treat gang stalking, mobbing, and bullying in a different way. In criminology, they concentrate on the fact that gang stalking is a crime. If you want to call yourself a victim, then you need proof of courtroom quality. This means that the harassment has to be confirmed by independent observers. Paulette Cooper obtained such proof. This is extremely rare. In psychology, the harassment is defined as the subjective experience of the victim. This means that you may call yourself a victim if you feel that hostile actions are directed against you. The reason is that observers are usually not independent and not honest, so their opinion is discarded as worthless. In sociology, they concentrate on the fact that gang stalkers are mafia members. Number 4, there are more than 150 scientific definitions of organized crime. They all have their own point of view. For example, you can concentrate on who is doing it, how it is being done, or what the function is. This suggests that all the different definitions of gang stalking may be equally right. Generally, a definition which lists a series of characteristics will receive most criticism. Okay, my definition, the person who created this website, I propose the following definition. You may call yourself a victim of gang stalking if you feel that hostile actions are directed against you by multiple persons and you are unable to escape the harassment. This definition fits psychologists. It doesn't require that you prove the harassment. Similarly, you may call yourself a you may call yourself a victim of bullying if you feel that hostile actions are directed against you by a single person. You may call yourself a victim of mobbing if you feel that hostile actions are directed against you by multiple persons, but you are able to escape harassment if you want to. Okay, so here's a little chart. You feel that hostile actions are directed against you. Okay, is there only one perp? Yes? It's bullying. Okay, this is what this little diagram is showing. Okay, so is there only one perp? No. Can you escape the harassment? Yes, mobbing. Okay, can you escape the harassment if there's, more than one? no, you can't escape the harassment, then it's gang stalking, okay? Victims of gang stalking are self-labeled just like victims of mobbing and bullying. It's not required that you can prove the harassment. Scientific research doesn't ask you to give the impossible proof. Okay, and then the general pattern. You are permanently observed by people, spy bugs, sensors, trackers, or even electronic implants, scanned by radar to guess what you're thinking, and eradicated with pulsed microwaves to change your train of thought. They control your sleep, falling asleep, dreaming, waking up, and your heartbeat by synchronizing it with pulsed microwaves. Every electronic device which you use will be hacked: computer, internet, telephone, alarm, camera. They come in your house during every absence. Every encounter with a mind-controlled gang stalker, perp, robot person, bio-robot, or zombie will be seen as an excellent opportunity to carry out a psychological attack against you, and there's no way to escape this. First signs: frequent break-ins, much noise, much traffic. Important letters don't arrive anymore. Serious consequences. The first mobbing researcher and author of Suicide Factory wrote, "It also shows that the social situation is not linear. That is, people hardly ever suffer from degrees of mobbing. Either one is a victim or one is not. This means that if you're a victim, then you probably experience all types of harassment, even if you didn't notice, even if it seems to be only harassment at work or in school. 80% of all people who commit suicide do this because of gang stalking. 80% of all people who commit suicide do this because of gang stalking. Almost all victims lose their job and never find a new job. 1 in 7 victims become incontinent due to the harassment. Okay, this means they can no longer control their, well, let me just double check. Make sure that I'm given, okay, I'm thinking this means that they can no longer control their bowels or their bladder. Gang stalking isn't rare. Gang stalking is one of the most common practices. For a large part of the population, stalking is their normal lifestyle. You need a large part of the population if you want to stalk so many people. 1 in 70 people experience gang stalking. 1 in 30 workers experience mobbing at work. 7 in 10 middle school and high school students experience bullying in school. Gang stalking is as if everyone is singing, "You are shit, we don't want you here." Corrections officer Mary Jackson reported gang stalking to the FBI. She wrote, "An FBI agent told me when I reported it, and I quote, 'Well, stuff like this happens all the time. I suggest you get on with your life and forget about it.'" Deeper insight. How do you explain that victims are harassed in just the same way in every country they go? Even in countries they are each other's enemy. How do you explain that all gang stalkers keep their mouths shut? How do you explain that no target in the world succeeded in locking the gang stalkers out of his house? How do you explain that no target in the world succeeding in filming the gang stalkers during illegal entry into his house? Organized or organizational. Organized stalking is a bad expression. Every stalker has to get organized to carry out his act of stalking. So the word organized doesn't add anything to stalking because every type of stalking is organized. Organizational stalking is a good expression because it means there's an organization behind this type of stalking. Solutions. Gang stalking is less effective if you are fully aware of the harassment. The first objective should be to inform every target. Gang stalking and electronic harassment are crimes that cannot be prevented. They will always have to be remedied afterwards in court. At this moment, this isn't possible because the victim has to file a complaint against every individual stalker who will get his individual trial. This costs the victim all his money. Justice and medicine are still in the area of impact weapons, while victims are already in the era of energetic weapons. I propose these changes concerning the law. The state has to acknowledge the crime of gang stalking and electronic harassment. This allows the victim to start one single trial against a large number of stalkers. This allows the victim who is taunted to the point that he commits a violent act to claim that it was provocation. This law has to stop the stalkers from finding always new ways to circumvent the law. There should be a law against the denial of gang stalking atrocities, just like there are laws against the denial of the Holocaust. There should be a law against electronic harassment. If the victim is incompetent, children, mentally handicapped, and so on, then this should be considered in the new laws as an aggravating circumstance. The European Parliament has adopted resolution, this number, which calls for a worldwide ban of all technology that enables manipulation of people. All European countries need to turn this guideline into a law. Concerning convicted gang stalkers, everything that has been used for stalking has to be confiscated: car, computer, cell phone, and so on. They may not use a telephone or the internet. They may not vote. They may not be elected. They may not run a company. They may not have a weapon. They may not drive a car. They could use it as a weapon. They may not marry. They are unfit to raise children. Their children have to be placed in an institution. Concerning the police, the law on the special police methods should be changed so there could be use of undercover agents and wiretap to provide the crime of gang stalking and electronic harassment. Cameras and microphones have to be installed in the houses of gang stalkers. There should be a new police force specialized in the detection of electronic harassment. This police force should also, on its own initiative, scan all frequencies to verify whether somewhere electronic devices are deployed to manipulate people. Concerning the medical community, the medical world should be informed about this new crime so they don't confuse it with mental illness. Doctors need to treat implants as forensic evidence as they do with bullets. Concerning the media, there should be an information campaign to inform the public about this new crime. All right, so I'll go ahead and close out this video here until the next part. All right, blessings and shalom.